You remember The Exorcist? That terrifying film where a little girl gets possessed and her parents do everything in their power to save her. Every ritual, every doctor, every desperate prayer. That story was horrifying. But the case I'm about to tell you today, it's worse. Because in The Exorcist, the parents were trying to save their child. In this story, the parents were the ones doing the damage. And when you hear what actually happened, you won't just be shocked. You'll be asking yourself, how does a human being even do this to their own child? But before I get into it, you're watching 12A Show, and my name is Jacob Joel. If you're new here, this channel is where we cover real cases, real stories, no filters. Hit that subscribe button right now, because once this story starts, you won't want to stop. And smash that like button. It takes 1 second, and it helps more people find stories like this. To understand what happened, we need to travel to a small village called Dusun in central Java, Indonesia. The year was 2021. In this village, everyone knew everyone. Who woke up at what time, who walked which road, who was friends with who. No secrets, no strangers, just a tight-knit community. And in the middle of all this lived a family of 3. Marsti, 42 years old, the head of the house, his wife Suwarni, 37, and their daughter, 7-year-old Ayesha. Now Ayesha, she was the kind of kid that makes you smile just by looking at her. She loved playing pranks on people walking by, and the moment she'd pull one off, she'd burst out laughing. That laugh, that smile, even the person she pranked couldn't stay mad. Her grandparents were obsessed with her. Every time they visited, they'd say the same thing. Just send her to us. We'll raise her. We'll take care of her. And Ayesha, she'd drag her parents to visit them every chance she got. By every measure, this was a normal, happy, loved little girl. Until January 2021. That's when things started to change. But around January 2021, Ayesha's parents started noticing something. She never sat still. Always jumping, always moving, always asking questions. She'd stop complete strangers on the street. Why are you wearing a belt? What does your phone do? Where are you going? Now, to you and me, that's just a curious 7-year-old, a child whose brain is growing, exploring, learning. That's completely normal. But her parents didn't see it that way. Instead of taking her to a doctor, instead of consulting a child specialist, they made a different decision. They decided to take her to a Baba, a spiritual healer. And look, this isn't just an Indonesia problem. In villages across the world, including India, when something feels off about a family member, the first call isn't to a hospital. It's to someone who claims they can fix the unfixable. In Indonesia specifically, this practice runs deep. If someone falls sick in a village there, neighbors don't give you a doctor's number. They give you a Baba's address. And when regular rituals don't work, they escalate to something called ruqyah, a high-level spiritual practice where a healer recites specific verses loudly over the patient, presses certain points on the body, the throat, the fingers, the feet, and claims the person is being healed. It sounds harmless. It isn't. Because Marsti and Suwarni didn't just find any healer. They found 2, 56-year-old Haryono and 43-year-old Budiono. And the moment these 2 men heard about little Ayesha, they knew exactly what they wanted to do. The 2 Babas came to Ayesha's home to assess her themselves. After just 10 to 15 minutes of observation, Budiono turned to the parents and said, "Your daughter is possessed, not by just any spirit, by something called a genderuwo." In Indonesian folklore, the genderuwo is the equivalent of a Bigfoot, a massive, hairy male entity believed to wander the country, possessing people at will. Whenever someone acts strange, throws tantrums, loses control, locals say the genderuwo got them. But here's what every Indonesian knows. The genderuwo never possesses children. It only targets adults. These two men didn't care about that fact. They told the parents Ayesha wasn't just possessed, the genderuwo had been reborn inside her body. And the parents believed them. The Babas charged 6 million Indonesian rupiah for the ritual. That's roughly 3 months of the family's entire income. Marsdi and Suwarni borrowed money from neighbors and handed over every single rupee. To confirm the possession, the Babas fed Ayesha raw chili seeds. She said they tasted bitter. Of course they did. Raw chili seeds are always bitter. But that was enough. The genderuwo is confirmed, I said. The ritual began on a freezing December night. A large tub, big enough to fit a child, was filled with cold water. Flowers were scattered inside. Ayesha's clothes were removed, and she was placed into the tub. 22 times, 23 times. She kept screaming, "I'm cold, please stop, I'm cold." Nobody listened. Then came January 9th, 2021, the second part of the ritual. This time, no flowers. This time, they grabbed Ayesha from behind, forced her head into the water, and held it there. She fought back, splashing, kicking, screaming underwater. Her parents stood and watched from the side. The first dip, 5 seconds, then 10, then 30, then a full minute. A 7-year-old girl cannot hold her breath for a minute, cannot overpower 2 grown men. Every time they pulled her up, she coughed it out. Before she could recover, they pushed her back down. And then, she stopped moving. Her parents looked at the motionless body of their daughter and felt relief. The genderuwo has left her body, the Babas said. She is sleeping deeply now. Put her to bed, she will wake up normal. They dressed her, tucked her in, pulled the blanket over her, and the Babas walked out. For 4 months, nobody asked questions. Ayesha's parents told everyone the same story. She's at her grandparents' house. She's staying with them for a while. If you want to see her, go there. The neighbors accepted it. The relatives accepted it. Except one person, Ayesha's aunt. She had been calling since April 2021. Every week, every few days. "Where's Ayesha? I want to see her." Same answer every time. "She's at her grandparents. Go visit her there." Finally, May 10th, 2021, the aunt had had enough. She packed her bag and went directly to the grandparents' village. She knocked on their door. The grandparents opened it, looked at her, and the first words out of their mouth were, "Why are you here? Where is Ayesha?" They hadn't seen her either. Not once. Not in 4 months. The aunt's blood ran cold. She called Ayesha's mother immediately. "Ayesha is not here. She never came here. Where is my niece?" Silence. The aunt didn't wait for an answer. She went straight to the police. Officers arrived at Marsdi and Suwarni's home. They searched the property. And in a corner of that small house, wrapped in cloth, buried and hidden, they found Ayesha. She had been there the entire time, dead, for 4 months. The parents confessed immediately. The 2 Babas, Haryono and Budiono, were arrested. And when investigators pieced together what happened that January night, the case sent shockwaves across all of Indonesia. A 7-year-old girl drowned by the people who were supposed to protect her, in the name of a ritual, in the name of superstition, while her parents stood and watched. Before I go, I want to ask you something. If you were Ayesha's neighbor, and you saw those 2 men enter that house late at night, would you have said something? Would you have knocked on that door? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if this story hit you the way it hit me, subscribe to 12A Show right now. Daily, I bring you real cases, real people, real consequences. No fluff, no fake drama, just the truth, no matter how dark it gets. Hit subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you in the next one.